Hi, it's Eva Cartman, and you are listening to the Dream Big podcast show, the place to go to learn, laugh, and grow. Today we have a very special guest, a guest who I consider a personal mentor and who has had the greatest impact on my life and my family's life of all the guests I have had on the podcast. In fact, even before having this guest on, I had already done 4 solo episodes sharing with all you big dreamers what I have learned from him. But now, today, you actually get to hear directly from the greatest mind in marketing and one of the most inspiring entrepreneurs on the planet. And I'll tell you who it is right after the intro. This is episode 177, Big Dreamers. You ready? It's time to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Before we jump into this week's episode, here's a quick segment we like to call Silly Sophia.
What you call a bear without any teeth? A gummy bear. What did the drummer call his twin daughters? And a 1 and a 2.
Thank you, Sophia, for those hilarious jokes. Our guest today is Russell Brunson. Russell is famous for popularizing the concept of sales funnels and co-founding a software company called ClickFunnels, which over 100,000 entrepreneurs use every day to package their knowledge into irresistible offers, which they can sell on ClickFunnels. But the reason why Russell has had so much success is because he is one of the best teachers on the planet. He creates frameworks that if you are a big dreamer and willing to take action, you can implement to save so much time and make sure you are on the right path. I haven't shared this before, but that intro that you hear at the beginning of each episode is based on a framework that Russell provided on how he wrote the intro for his podcast. He provided the framework, which then we used here. But what Russell is most famous for is teaching frameworks for creating irresistible offers and packaging them in sales funnels. As you know, this podcast is all about dreaming big and taking massive action. So after we went to Russell's Unlock the Secrets event and learned the framework for different funnel types, I got to work with my parents on my first sales funnel. And since we have the king of sales funnels himself on the podcast, I thought this would be a great time to announce that my first funnel is now live at schoolsuccessblueprint.com. It teaches you the top mindset and productivity principles so that you can do really well in your classes and also build great friendships. Unlike the podcast, which is audio only, these are video lessons, and we worked with an amazing illustrator to make the videos entertaining and educational. After you listen to this interview with Russell, if you want to see what a funnel looks like, then go to schoolsuccessblueprint.com to check mine out. I'm so excited to share this with you because I know if you watch the videos and implement the frameworks I share about school success, then it will really help you and you'll see amazing results. If you take action, of course. But what I'm even more excited about is now you get to hear from a man who inspired me to put in the hard work to create this funnel. I encourage you all to follow Russell Brunson and listen to his advice. We will be including the links to all of his work and social media in the show notes, as well as links to the 4 solo episodes where I have talked about Russell in the past. But today, you actually get to hear from him directly. So without further ado, let's roll the tape of my interview with the legendary Russell Brunson. Hey, big dreamers! And hey, Russell!
Hey.
Russell, of all the guests that I've had on the podcast, and we're over 160 episodes now, so I've talked to lots of truly amazing people, I wanted to start off by telling you that you have personally had, by far and away, the biggest direct impact on my life and my family's life.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. That's amazing.
My parents have actually been listening to your content for years, and since we're often in the car listening, so have I. And we also use your amazing software, ClickFunnels, and my mom's in your coaching group. So we'll be getting into what you do in a minute, but I wanted to thank you for being such an inspirational mentor that has helped our family and countless of others too.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. It was super fun getting to meet you officially at the Unlock the Secrets event. And excited to be here today with you guys.
It was amazing meeting you too. Before we get into what you're doing now with ClickFunnels and funnel hacking, I wanted to ask you about your childhood because you're clearly destined to be a marketer. And I've heard you tell the story about how as a kid you used to love going through the junk mail that was sent to your parents' house, you know, like all the sales letters and the coupons magazines. Can you share how you even opted in to receive more junk mail and why you were so fascinated by it?
Yep, I was kind of a nerd, but it's funny. My kids tease me now, like, "Dad, you were so lame." But it's funny because I was I was watching. I was with my dad one night, and he was watching the news. And then when the news got over, he usually told me to go to bed, but he didn't one night. And there was this infomercial that came on, and on the infomercial, there was a guy talking about how he was making money with classified ads in newspapers. And I got so excited. I was like, "Oh, I want to learn about this." And so I ended up asking my dad if he would buy the kit for me that would teach you how to do it. And he told me no, but he said if you work for it, you can go earn it. So he made me go and work, and I mowed lawns, and I earned $40 to buy the kit. And so I bought it, and I got it in the mail, and that was the first thing I ever got. And I read all about it. I got really excited. And then a couple weeks later, I was with my mom at the grocery store, and we walked by the magazine rack, and there was this one magazine that had like kind of these cartoon pictures on it, and it talked about making money from home. And so I begged my mom. I said, "Mom, can you please buy this for me?" It was like, I think like $5 for the magazine. So she bought it for me. And when I opened it, it had all these different ways to make money inside of it. And there was a phone number that if you called the phone number, they would send you like some information in the mail, because this is before there was websites. And so I called I literally got my phone. I called every single phone number in the magazine. I said, "Please send me more information." And soon I started getting tons of mail, so much mail that the mailman couldn't even fit it in the mailbox. They got so much, they called it junk mail, but I loved it. And I would open it, and I would read it. I'd read the headlines about different ways to make money. And it was just, I remember sitting there as like a 12-year-old kid and just being so excited by what was possible. And my parents thought I was kind of ridiculous, but it was really, really fun.
I love that, Russell. So, big dreamers, if you have parents that toss that junk mail away right away, slow them down and start taking a look through it. You may learn something new, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that I learned when I went to your amazing Unlock the Secrets event is that the biggest secret is learning how to make an irresistible offer. Like when most kids think of the word offer, they think about businesses selling products. But really learning how to make offers is an essential skill for everyone, including kids. And I'll tell you a funny story, Russell, in a minute about how what I used to unlock the secret to persuade my parents to let me do something that they have been saying no to forever. But first, can you share some keys to creating an irresistible offer?
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear what you did. That's gonna be cool. Mm-hmm. So an offer is basically is how do you make something even more exciting? And so at the Unlock the Secrets event, I think you'll probably remember this. There was a girl there, and she was a babysitter, and she was talking about how like there's a lot of kids in her neighborhood that do babysitting, and so it's hard for her to get jobs. And so she said, "Well, we need to make a better offer." And so she said, "Okay, well, how do we make the offer better?" I said, "Well, everyone does babysitting. What else can you do to make it even more more amazing for the parents?" And she said, "Well, what if I also like did the dishes after we ate dinner that night? And what if I did homework with your kids? And what if I played different activities with your kids? And what if I taught them how to cook?" And she had all these things she started making up to make her offer of babysitting way better. And soon she had a list of like here's 10 different things that I'll do when I babysit for you that none of the other babysitters do. And when you look at that, it's like, wow, she's the best. Like if I'm going to pick a babysitter, I'm definitely going to pick her because her offer is way better than all the other babysitters who are just going to babysit. And while that's kind of a fun little example, it's true in any business because every business people are selling similar things, So the question is, how do you make your offer even better? Okay, do you give them more bonuses or more products or more things? Just like you stack on different things to make the value go up. And so that's kind of what it is to make an irresistible offer.
That's amazing advice, Russell. So I have been asking my parents for the longest time to get more animals. So we have an amazing dog, Annie, but if I had it my way, we would have a farm at our house. This year, for months, I had been asking for chickens, but my parents said absolutely not and told me to stop wasting my time. Well, after your event, I came back and realized that I had not been making an offer. I just kept on asking them over and over again, can we please get chickens? Can we please get chickens? Can we please get chickens? And my parents went away for the weekend to celebrate their anniversary, and I got to work creating my offer. I had my grandparents get me a poster board, which I decorated with photos and fun facts about chickens. When they got back, I delivered a presentation on chickens and then laid out my offer. First off, I would pay for the coop and the chickens and all the ongoing supplies maintenance. I've been earning some money for the podcast, and I would use the money that I earned. Second, I would take care of the chickens 100%. The feeding, cleaning the poop, making sure they were clean and healthy, and I told them they would never have to lift a finger. Third, we would be getting farm fresh eggs from our hens, and I would cook omelets for the family. And fourth, their main objection was that we like to travel, and we did not want to have the chickens dictating our travel schedule. For that, I did some research and found a feeder that would have water and food for a number of days. And I got assurance from my generous aunt that she would check on them if we are on a longer trip. And guess what? We now have a beautiful chicken coop with 4 hens, Rosie, Pumpkin, Velvet, and Phoenix.
That is amazing.
I know.
That's like the best example of an offer I've ever heard. That's so awesome.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun coming up with offers, big dreamers, and I encourage everyone listening to stop just asking for something over and over again. Instead, think of 3 or 4 things that you can do to satisfy your parents' concerns and even give them what you know they want.
That's awesome.
The other big takeaway from the Unlock the Secrets event was the importance of storytelling. Every kid loves a good story. When we were young, we enjoyed having stories read to us, and now I love reading books too. But what you emphasize at Unlock the Secrets is that learning to be a great storyteller is one of, if not the most important skills that you can learn. Can you share why you are so fascinated by the art of storytelling and why stories are so powerful?
Yeah, definitely. You think about it, all of us, we love stories, right? We love when our parents read us books. My kids every night still like, Dad, read me a story, read me a story. And then we love going to the movies to see stories. And stories are how we learn things, stories how we feel things. And it's interesting, when I first got into my business, I started learning how to sell things. And I didn't like that. I always felt weird when I was trying to sell stuff. And I wasn't very good at it. And instead what I started doing is I started if I got excited by a product, is I would tell people the story about how I created the product and why I was so passionate, why I was excited. And when I would tell them the story about it, then I didn't have to sell them. They got excited by it too. And it was really cool. And I was like, this is really powerful. I didn't realize that was that's an easier way to sell things. And so I started practicing telling stories, and I started getting better at telling stories. And then every time someone would give me a product, I would think what's the story behind why this product is so cool? And I would ask the person who invented the product, well, tell me the story behind it. Why did you create this? And it was funny because sometimes it was hard for them to tell me the story. They didn't know why, they didn't remember. But if I kept asking questions, eventually they'd have a story that was so exciting, and you'd hear that story, and then you wanted to buy the product. And so that's what I found is, for most people, if they want to learn how to sell something without feeling bad about selling, you just get telling the story about the product, and then people will want to buy it from you. And it changes everything, and it makes it so much more simple and so much easier by telling stories. And so that's why we spend so much time teaching people how to tell stories and practicing them, because that's the key to persuading people and convincing people to do things that you need, is by telling them a really good story.
That's amazing, Russell. Ever since the event, I really have been working on bringing more emotion to my stories. And I even did a solo episode about what I learned at Unlock the Secrets and shared a story of getting turned down at a go-kart track for being too short to ride, even though they let me ride 6 months ago. And then how I ended up working my way in and being able to ride. I told the story in a really boring way with little details and then showed what it sounded like if I really shared the emotions I was feeling and gave a super detailed account. I got great feedback from that episode, so thank you so much for teaching everyone the importance of storytelling.
That is so awesome. Thank you for telling me that story.
In addition to marketing and sales, you talk a lot on your podcast about personal growth. Because if you don't believe you have the potential to do something, then the chances of you even trying are slim to none. In one of the episodes I love most is when you describe how learning to ask a 2-word question, what if, had changed your life forever. Can you please share why asking what if is so important and why it would be so helpful if even our younger big dreamers started to learn to ask that question before deciding that something is impossible?
Yeah. It's funny. The very first time I learned that, I was at a Tony Robbins seminar. And I don't know if you've seen Tony before, but he is huge. He's 6'7". And so he's about, he's way taller than me, and he's a big guy. And I remember he was on stage and he kept saying things, and I was like, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. And I just kind of in my head, whenever we hear something that's kind of hard in our head, our brain's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Or I don't believe that's true, or whatever. And I remember about 3 or 4 hours into the event, I was realizing I wasn't very happy. I wasn't having a good time. And I realized it was because I kept saying no to everything he was trying to teach me. And I said, what if I changed my mindset and said, instead of saying no, what if I said, what if? What if I did try that? Then what would happen? What if I did go and work out? What if I did eat differently? What if I did try to read a book? What if I did, study harder, or whatever that thing was? And then I started saying, what if? Then it started in my mind. I'd be like, well, if I did wake up a little bit earlier to read, then I could learn this thing. Or if I did eat healthier, then I have more energy. And I started just changing the question, and then it started getting really, really fun. And it's interesting, though, because in most parts of life, people think that things are hard, right? They think building a funnel is hard or starting a business is hard. But the hardest thing really is just getting us to believe that we can do it. And so personal development is so important because our brains will fight us all the time. Like, no, I don't want to do that. It seems too hard. It seems too boring, whatever it is. But if you can get past that and get to the point where you can get your mind to believe it's true and say, what if I did do that? Then it'll change your whole life. Because if we just let our brain control everything, it'll talk us out of a lot of things. And so we have to take control of that. And that's one of the ways that that what if statement that you talked about is one of the ways I've been able to do that over the last few years.
That's such a powerful lesson, and just 2 words. It's also helped me in so many instances, from running for student council to being in my school talent show to launching my own course. These are all things that just a few years ago seemed like they would have been impossible to me, and I would have never tried. But learning to ask, what if I can do it? What if I'll love doing it? What if I'll learn something? You should always ask that question before deciding not to move forward. So thank you.
Awesome.
I wanted to ask you a question about content creation because I know you're a big proponent of encouraging people to spend way more time producing content than consuming it. And it's something that I know is challenging for many parents who have kids who just want to watch other kids reviewing toys or playing video games all day on YouTube. Can you share why this is an issue you are passionate about, not just for the adults you coach, but for your own kids as well?
Yep. It's funny. I was in Puerto Rico about 7 or 8 months ago with some really smart business owners, and one of the people there said, I don't use social media because I don't want to waste my life. And one of my other friends there, his name is Brendan Bouchard. Brendan said, oh, no, I don't use social media. I don't spend time consuming media. He said, I produce media to change other people's lives. He said, they're on there all day long looking at videos and wasting their time. But if I can put something out there they can consume, it could change their life. So he says, I'm a producer of social media. I'm not a consumer of it. And when he said that, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so powerful. And I went home and I looked at my kids and I saw my kids on YouTube watching other people make videos and having fun and doing all these things, and they were watching it. I said, look, and I tried to explain to them, I said, look, if you are just sitting there and consuming other people doing stuff all day long, like you may feel good in the moment, but like you don't grow at all. You don't personally change anything. I said, you need to be producers of social media. Like you need to go out there and do cool things and produce it and put it out there. And that way you can be the thing that changes somebody's life. And so we had a whole family night about that, and I got them all excited. And then we said, okay, let's start doing our own thing. And so we went and started filming videos. And I said, okay, kids, what are something you want to learn about? And the very first one is, my kids love making slime, and they love watching people make slime. And I said, okay, let's make a slime video. And so they went out there, and I said, well, how do we make slime? And so they had all the ingredients, and we went to the store and we bought all the ingredients. And we came back, and then we set up a stage, and we got bowls and all the mixing cups and everything. And then we got videos and we filmed them making the slime. And then when it was done, then they had to take those videos off of the iPads and stuff they filmed it on, and they had to learn how to edit the videos and how to make them interesting, and then how to get them uploaded on YouTube. And they learned so many cool things in this journey that they wouldn't have ever learned just sitting there watching somebody make slime. Instead, they actually got to experience it and do it and teach it, and they learned so many more skills. And so for my kids now, I tell them all the time, so like, you can do whatever you want, but let's go instead of you just watching someone, like if you want to watch somebody, you can watch, you can research, then let's go and do it and experience it. And then that way you can create something amazing. And then hopefully you can teach that to somebody else as well. And so that's something that I've been trying to get my kids, and it's still hard. I think, as a parent, it's always hard to get your kids to to get off social media 100%. But it's been fun watching them transition and start producing it. And now it's fun because when they do watch something on YouTube, they get excited, like, oh, we could do a video like this, Dad. And, oh, what if we did this? And it gets their brains thinking differently than just sitting back and just watching somebody else have fun.
Amazing advice. And I can tell all you big dreamers from personal experience that starting the podcast was one of the best decisions of my life. And all the skills we talked about today, learning to tell stories, learning to push outside of your comfort zone, learning to make offers, you can apply all of that if you create content. And it doesn't have to be a podcast. You can start a YouTube show, or if you like to write, you can do a blog. But it is way more fun and creative to be creating content than just watch or listen to others people's content all the time. And I know you've built an amazing company called ClickFunnels, where you teach how to make offers and tell stories and deliver the software that allows entrepreneurs to sell their offers online. But despite being the CEO of this huge company, we see you on Instagram spending so much time with your wife and kids, at school events, at wrestling practice, gymnastics, vacations with your adorable daughter Nora. Can you share how and why you continue to make family such a huge priority?
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes was from a guy named David O. McKay. He said that no success can compensate for failure in the home. And so that's when I heard that, I was like, okay, if I'm successful in the business world, but if I fail as a father, then I wasn't actually successful. And so for me, it's like my family is the foundation, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna serve them, and then in between there's when I have a chance to do business. So it's not the other way. I think a lot of people, it's like they have their business, and then it's like, oh, if I have time, I'll spend it with my family, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be the opposite. The family is the most important. Someday I'm going to die, and I don't think anyone ever on their deathbed is like, oh, I wish I spent more time at the office. They do say, I wish I spent more time with my kids. I wish I spent more time with my wife. And so I try to make them a priority as much as possible. And it's been fun because this is the first year I've been able to start including my kids in things. As you know, for the Unlock the Secrets event, I invited families to come because I wanted to bring my family. And it was so fun to watch my kids kind of experience what I do. They got to be on stage, and they got to run around and help sell T-shirts and kind of be part of it. And it was just really special to be able to kind of weave my work and my personal life together. And I think that it's been really fun also doing that on social media. And, it's fun now. The older kids get a little embarrassed sometimes because some of their friends follow me on Instagram and they're like, Dad, don't put me in there. But like Nora loves and the other kids love it. It's just kind of fun for them to be part of that as well and kind of experience that because it's the future is where things are going and so we like to incorporate our kids into those things as well so they can learn how it works and learn how to use those tools as well.
That's wonderful. Russell, it's been so much fun having you on the show, and I could honestly ask you so much more. So hopefully we can have you back in the podcast in the future. But I know we're nearing the time we agreed upon, so I have one final question that I ask all of our guests. You have already made many of your dreams in life and with ClickFunnels a reality, but if you look at yourself today, what is your big dream for the future?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think for me, when I started my business almost 15 years ago now, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs start this way, like, you want to make money. So I tried to make money. And then after I started making money, I realized that wasn't that exciting. And then it was like, I want to help other people. And then it got really fun because I was helping other people to start their businesses and see their successes, which was really fun. But now the thing that makes me the most passionate is when I see the people I've helped and I see them helping other people. Right? Like one example is Kaylin Poland, and I think you may have heard her story before. She came through our training when her and her husband, they just gotten married and they were didn't have any money, and she had just gone through a transformation where she lost a whole bunch of weight, and she said, I want to help women lose weight, but she didn't know how to like get her message out. So she came and she started using our products and our training, and she started helping other people, and it's crazy. She's helped over 1 million women now to lose weight and to feel better about themselves. And so I think that's one person who's now helped 1 million people. And so for me, like my big dream for the future is like, how many more entrepreneurs can I help to be able to help 1 million people, right? Because I can't help people lose weight, or I can't help people in different ways like that. Like, that's not my skill set. But if I can help give Kaylin the tools so that she can help women lose weight, then that was an impact that lasted beyond myself. If I can help other entrepreneurs with their missions to help more people, like that's what's exciting for me. So my whole dream right now is just how do I help free more entrepreneurs so they can go and they can change the lives of the customers they've been called to serve. And that's kind of my big dream and what we're working towards every single day here at ClickFunnels.
That is so amazing, and a great lesson for our big dreamers. Help other people. You have your big dreams, but also during your big dream, make sure that you're also helping other people through your big dream. And Russell, I was hoping that maybe I'd get you to spill the beans on what you are announcing at Funnel Hacking Live or on your birthday next year, but I know that you're too smart for that.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you so much, Russell. And could you please let our audience know where they can find more about you?
Yeah, probably the best place, if you go to russellbrunson.com, from there's links to like my YouTube channel and ClickFunnels and all my books. That's probably the easiest way to find out more about me and what we do.
Well, thank you so much. And big dreamers, make sure to go to russellbrunson.com and just dream big. And Russell, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Eva, for having me. It's been an honor. You are so cool. I'm so impressed with everything you're doing, and grateful that you invited me to be here today with you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
How amazing was that? I cannot tell you how much of an honor it was to interview someone who I have been watching and listening to more than anyone else other than my parents. Be sure to check out our show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/177 for links to Russell's website and everything else we discussed in the episode. And check out my first funnel, schoolsuccessblueprint.com. You'll see how I followed Russell's advice to create an irresistible offer, and most importantly, I am so proud of this content and really think it's going to help you at school and beyond. So go to schoolsuccessblueprint.com to check out my first sales funnel. And I can't wait to share what else I have in store for you this year. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Eva Cartman reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional, you need to make them essential. So take massive action to turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion, the way life was meant to be. I'll see you next episode. Bye!